Clear view, clear sound. We're ready for a good stream. We have 4 cameras for this stream today. It's gonna be an amazing stream, honestly. I'm ready for it. We're gonna do a little bit of snacky making. We're gonna learn about canna infused foods. And we're gonna then sit down and do a little bit of reading. What's happening, Blondie? Good to see you. Okay, scrolling up. Lauren was in here early, guys. She's collecting extra points so that she can redeem a Cook with Sam coming up. She's been working hard watching the stream. Bong, I'm glad that you're having a good weekend. You did not go out last night. Nice. I'm going to just turn up one light. It looks a little bit dull in here. There we go. Since you went out Thursday and Friday. Whoa. I will say to you guys that I had a good night last night. I went to my friend Julia's house, met her new pupper, returned her ironing board, an iron that I held hostage for about 2 months by accident, but at the same time, she forgot about it too, so whew, it's clear there. Yeah, we just hung out, caught up, made some nachos, and hung out with her pupper. It was really nice. Greek, good to see you too. Welcome in, yet it is. Michael, you're building up a little race car, a little Legolo from Amazon. That sounds fun. That's always a fun Sunday thing. I'm wearing a pullover hoodie for the canna stream, right? I thought, well, you're going to be cozy today. There's not too much cooking involved, but we'll definitely do some learning today and get prepared. So this is going to be like a 2-part series, let's say, for the Cooking with Cannabis redemption for Vanacore. And Vanacore, if you are here today, hello, welcome. This stream is for you. They saved up 420,000 channel points, guys. Like, we gotta make the best of this. And hi, Vune, you came back to us today. I'm so happy. The breed of pup is a rescue, like part shepherd and then like maybe duck toller or something like that. His name is Whiskey. He is like an orange kind of color like what Posh was, but his hair is longer like a shepherd. And he's not super big. He's not too big of a pupper for a apartment, so I think that he'll settle down. Like, he's not a very energetic dog unless you get him going. He's very chill, which I was very impressed with as far as a rescue. Vanacore, you are here. Nice. Okay, perfect. Let's get into it. Here's the menu. I hope you guys are all having a good start to the day. I don't think this stream is going to be very long either. But today what we're going to work on is, this is kind of a 2-part thing like I was saying before I got sidetracked, is you first have to do a process to like get the cannabis ready for infusing. And then after that, you can then infuse it into whatever type of fat that you choose. You can even do some alcohol infusions. We'll read over that and learn today. But yeah, it is a 2-part thing. So we'll get everything prepped for it today, and then next weekend we'll get it finished. We'll make the brownies and then make the sundae from it. That should be fun. Vune, you did say you're going to try to. You're in your workshop right now working on stuff. Fun. Okay, you got to just first tell us what you're working on. Yeah, the prodigal mod. Ooh, I love it so much. MCT oil is the best in your opinion, Greek, from what you've done. Yeah, if anyone has opinions or suggestions as we go along today, by all means, please offer them up. I've done a bit of infusions before, like many years ago though. Many years ago. Like first when cannabis became fully legal in Canada is when we started to play around, right? Because there's a lot less risk involved and people were like kind of having fun with it. So I've done gummies for our friend before. That was with coconut oil, and then you kind of use glycerin and stuff with it, which that was interesting to do with Jello. And then we've also done cookies from the cookbook that we're going to be reading through today. I'll grab these 2 things. Bong Appetit. So you can see that we've read through it before and done some stuff on stream, my little dog-eared pages. And then this is what we are using today. So everyone say thanks, Samo, for ordering this. So we have a hibiscus sunrise indica, 1 ounce worth. And then we'll figure out what to do with it. And then if anyone is interested in the book, guys, that I'm using today, I did see in Canada right now it's 33% off if you want to pick it up. But yeah, click on that link if you want to check this book out. Like I said, they do really good explanations of all the processes so that you can actually make like edible food, right? Not just something that's going to knock you off your feet and probably put you in the hospital. Let's not do that. So first off, I'm just going to open this up, and we want to read about decarboxylation. So I'm just going to read through a little bit as we stand here to see what our next process is. I kind of have an idea, and it does involve the sous vide. So you guys could use the oven. It's going to be quicker to do this process that we're working on, decarboxylation. But it's also going to be very stinky. So if you live in a shared space, I would not suggest using the oven to decarboxylate your weed. So we're going to do it in a water bath, which they tell you exactly how to do that in the book. But it does take like 4 to 6 hours that way. Hello, White Dove. Good morning. I hope you're doing okay today. Your understanding is the trichomes are best fat soluble. They are. But like I said, you could also do alcohol infusions I saw in here. So they say now that prohibition is ending and more states have legalized cannabis, there's a new generation of savvy, sophisticated home cooks who are interested in weed cookery, but would never touch one of the nasty laden pot brownies of the past. Enter Bong Appetit. Basically, the joy of cooking for those of us interested in serious, delicious food that involves cannabis infusions. Based on the popular Munchies and VICE series of the name. So has anybody ever watched these episodes on YouTube? So VICE was very big here for a while, like what? The 2010s maybe, VICEland. And then they also had a show on YouTube called Munchies. Check those out, and you could also on YouTube just search Bong Appetit, and I think they have an entire channel of like recipes and stuff and videos. So that's kind of how I got onto this. So this book breaks down the science of infusing oils, butters, milks, alcohol, and more with cannabis, and offers recipes ranging from weed brown butter gnocchi to cannabis chimichurri, to yes, pot brownie sundaes. Along the way, the book hits on cannabis politics, dosage, and pairing strains with flavors. It has tips from Munchies' vast network of friends and experts to lead you on your way. That's it. I think the artwork on this book is quite nice. So this is the contents. There we go. Infusions, drinks, appetizers, salads and vegetables, pastas and grains, meat, poultry, and seafood, desserts, and then projects. Fun. From your past experiences, you know you would enjoy edibles more than just burning, vaping, and inhaling. You prefer more of like a body high than a head high. So yeah, we'll note on that like kind of the different feelings as well that you can get and how you consume cannabis. That sucks, Bonk. Yeah, like at any given time they can probably test you guys and you don't want to lose your job. So they give you this, the whole index by all this stuff, your recipe lists, and then the intro. We're gonna sit down and read the intro. I'm just gonna flip through. So a couple pieces of equipment, obviously a grinder you'll need. There's also, yeah, one of these that I think I've seen before. Does Bubs have one? There's like a decarboxylation machine that you can buy that will infuse the oil for you if you just like put it all in the one machine. But those are heckin' expensive unless you use them all the time. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna read. Hi Annie, how are you doing? Preparing your weed for cooking, tips and techniques. You don't recall seeing one on Bubstream? Maybe I just seen them post it on Instagram or something like that. Let's change the scene and see how this looks. I mean, probably that. If you guys want me to like show anything from what we're reading, just let me know. But that's what the book looks like. Yeah, we got the Bard with us today, everyone. Okay, so preparing your weed for cooking, tips and techniques. For many years, the sole goal of cooking with cannabis was to get as high as possible, as efficiently as possible. Underground edible makers traditionally focused on using less pricey parts of the plant that aren't suitable for smoking and would otherwise go to waste, like the sugar leaves, the trim, the shake from the bottom of a bag, or even low quality swag buds. I don't know what swag buds are. Like, I obviously partake in this, but I don't know like a ton about it. Guess I don't partake that seriously. You wonder if it's better to cook with sativa or indica? Okay, we gotta look that up after then. So they say recipes from that era prioritized wringing every last particle of THC from the lesser cuts, with flavor being a distant secondary consideration. So flavor was like not considered in the olden days, right? You're just trying to get all the THC out and you don't really care how it's gonna taste. Hello, Fish Keto. I hope I say that right. Welcome in. If you're new here, please feel free to ask away any questions. We are learning from this book today. You know lots about it. You research it, Greek. I love it. You've went down the rabbit hole. Okay, so then they say if you've ever wondered why food that's infused with cannabis has a bad reputation for tasting bad, that's the reason why. Is because before they didn't really care. So in general, the more expensive a cannabis ingredient is, so the raw ingredient that you're starting with, the better it's going to taste. Sam, would you say this is like probably middle end or like higher end from what you can choose out there?
Oh, it was pretty good.
It was a high end one. And so then I also like did research on this strain, let's say, to kind of see the effects of it and if it would make like a nice edible infusion, right, that we would want to partake in. So you can also research the different strains and the feelings that they will give you. Terpenes are the flavor indicators. You're wondering how many chopping boards should you have to prepare your meals? So I don't know if you can see here, but right in front of me is like a big chopping board. And this is like my main cutting board for mostly fruits and veggies, anything, let's say, that's not raw meat. And then for the stuff that is raw meat, I will have just smaller plastic cutting boards to use, and then that way they can go in the dishwasher, and it's really easy and quick to clean those up and sanitize. But some people will just like use one wooden cutting board and just like re-sanitize and seal it every single day that they use it, but I don't want to do that all the time. You'll also like use this a lot faster if you're cleaning up your wooden board all the time and scraping it, like how we're taught in school. You'll see it start to degrade quicker. So I guess it's really up to you. But the only thing I wouldn't suggest is a glass cutting board. Please don't. Do I have a lazy eye? What the heck? No, but thanks for asking. Annie, we've had some interesting folks the last few days. I just giggle now. I don't take it personally. Carrying on. Okay, so we said the more expensive a cannabis ingredient is, the better it will taste. The trim is going to be cheap. So that's like all the leaves and stuff like that. That, yeah, you don't really harvest to smoke. That's going to taste very green. So what that means is like kind of grassy, like herbaceous, not the best, right? Flower costs more and tastes better while still being herbaceous and vegetal, but much more like basil, arugula, or parsley, not like grassy kind of tasting and bitter. Precious keef, hashes, and extracts are even more expensive than flower and trim, but the absence of chlorophyll in those, so the stuff that makes plants green, makes those concentrates taste much better with unique, earthy, spicy flavors. You guys are just going after him. I don't even have to say anything. Okay, yeah, the green stuff's Greek. 27, hurry. What is good, girl? What's happening? Welcome on in. We're doing some learning today. Okay, so today with legalization changing the game, weed costs are falling while the diversity of cannabis ingredients available, a dizzying array, right? It's extracts, hashes, flowers, like you can get everything these days if you walk into a dispensary where it's legal. And it's just increasing exponentially all the time. So they say in the future, once the costs have dropped even more, let's see if that's even a thing. I don't think it'll ever be that cheap. But if the costs drop enough, maybe everyone will be able to use keef and hash. I don't see that being a thing. What are we, like year almost 10 now that it's legal? I forget. No, 8? The 8th year in Canada? I forget. Turn the page. 6. Thank you, Greek. If you guys are going to be weird, I'm going to kick you out of the chat. That's all I'm going to say. We're learning today. Please stay focused. Okay, so this is interesting. They say if you use trim, so all the leaves and stuff, rather than what this is, if you use the trim, you might yield only 10% of the weight to be able to use for an infusion, right? So you'll need like way more trim than anything. Whereas, what are they saying here? One pound of flour would yield double the amount of infusable stuff. That's crazy. Okay. I was a little bit confused what they meant here, but I guess I shouldn't be too much. I just wasn't sure like how much of this to use. It gets a bit confusing. So I'm just going to read through. You guys let me know. Vune is like, you're gone. I didn't even see what they did, but thank you very much. That's why we have mods here. And I know it bugs you guys as well. You watched a few episodes of it, Boris? I haven't watched them in quite a while. I think we're going to go even higher on the lighting in here. It's quite dark today and cloudy. Oh, tag team. You guys are funny. I mean, I already gave them a verbal warning. That's good. Okay, I'm just going to skip ahead, but there is a really cool like graph that they put at the bottom here. Can you see that clearly? Comparing your flour to trim and what your THC ratios would be, comparing them at times versus weight percentages. We're not going to get into that. Fresh picked cannabis won't get you high if you eat it because the non-psychoactive THCA found naturally in the plant has to be heated before it transforms into the version of THC that very much does get you high. They're probably bored. Oh, I could definitely tell they're bored. Their parents already cooked them breakfast for the day. They're already done all their homework before school on a Sunday. Let's hop on to Twitch and see what's happening, man. This ain't a stream for kids today anyways. I guess I should have put 18 plus, hey?
What, are you just chatting?
I'm in, no, I think I stayed in food and drink. I forget. Let me see real quick. Let's see. Content classification. We got drugs. Oh, nar. Okay, I'll just update that one. We got drugs, everyone. Oh no, it's Taz. Taz is coming in at the right time. Dude, how have you been? Welcome in and thank you for the raid. What did you get up to on stream? Hello, Sir Grunge. It's been a while. I'm honored, guys. I hope you're having a good weekend. We're doing reading today. Hi, B Sultan, too. Is this like a reunited on a Sunday thing happening? This is what we're reading today? Because somebody saved up 420,000 channel points, Vanacore, from our community, and they redeemed a Cook with Cannabis stream. So we have to learn first, and then we're gonna make something next week. You made a roasted tomato soup for the first time. You poured it through a sieve, right? Because we're always like, I don't need to strain this thing. It's so silky though. So what do you think? Are you gonna do that every time now? Or is it just nice to do for a treat? Man, tomato soup. We were going crazy yesterday on my stream talking about like everyone's top 5 favorite soups to eat in the winter. I don't think we even finished the list. Hi, Hot Dish. Miss you guys. 100%. You also put a cup of cream in, like it's almost too creamy. Deadly. Hey, you deserve it. There's that many soups. And then people were saying like, I didn't even know there was that many different soups. Remember when you guys used to do the tier lists? Maybe we gotta do a soup tier list stream collaboration together. Should think about that for the winter. Okay, thanks guys for being here. I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday and enjoy your tomato soup. Homemade food is always good. We're gonna get back into our book. Let me know if you have any questions. Every food culture in the world probably has a soup, hey? Like, honestly, though, I'm sure of it. Because it's such a good way to just, like, use up scraps. I'm sure that's how soup started. Just stir the big cauldron and keep throwing stuff into there. Okay. So we were just learning that fresh picked cannabis right off of the plant cannot be used for an infusion. So, also known as the word decarboxylating in chemistry terms, this process simply means removing the carboxyl molecule found in THCA, the non-psychoactive acidic form of THC, therefore transforming it into the fun kind of THCA. So you need heat to get that activated. If you don't, let's say if I just take this and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna infuse this into butter and just combine the two things together and cook it, you're not gonna get nearly the same amount of results. I would say that's almost a waste. So don't think that you can just do that. Next, you can decarboxylate cannabis a few different ways, including quickly at a high temperature, like I was saying in the oven, or slowly at a lower temperature, like we're gonna do in the sous vide, which is back there today. Low and slow is the traditional favorite, as it minimizes risk of burning the precious flowers. You don't want a burnt taste to it, right? Sounds like a Twitch slang term, but it is carboxyl. Sous vide, favorite way of bathing. Yeah, we're getting the hot tub ready on stream today. Stay tuned. Okay, I need to go closer because the light is putting a glare on the page and I can't even read the words. Keep in mind that THC boils off at 314 degrees Fahrenheit, so you should never really come close to that danger point anyways. Like even when you do it in the oven, you're only doing it at 240 degrees Fahrenheit, or basically as low as your oven temp will go. So you shouldn't really get to that danger point. And then they say, so the terpenes, like Bonk was talking about, which is like the flavor molecule, it changes the flavors of each strain. Those are even more volatile. So that's why you want to be really careful. Hi, the bear fan. Yeah, just in time for the hot tub. Whoop, whoop. So with delicate, this is a crazy word. Caryophyllene evaporating at 246 degrees Fahrenheit. The terps will disappear at points in between 246 Fahrenheit and 388 Fahrenheit. So that's like your danger zone, I would say. You don't want to go in between that. Bonus points if you do product quality control test today by rolling and lighting it up. Oh no, I'll still have to read though after. What if we finish today's stream by doing that before we leave? That's safer. Ooh. Yeah. Going to the danger zone. Okay. So preserving as many cannabinoids, I've always said that wrong. Preserving as many cannabinoids and terpenes as possible means using a lower temperature. Timing is also important, with 30 to 60 minutes being the typical recommendation in the oven at 240 degrees Fahrenheit. You guys are more than welcome to write this stuff down as I read it through if you want to try this at home. Plant material with a higher moisture content will need longer to decarboxylate than just keef or hash. So keep that in mind when using an extract for cooking. If you are pressed for time, I can't imagine a time in my life where I'm like, oh my God, I need to make these pot brownies right now. But if you are pressed for time, you can crank up the temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and toast the plant material for only 10 to 15 minutes. But doing that, you'll lose more of those terpenes, which keeps the flavor tasting nice. Greek loves it. Okay, so the first method, which we've already talked about baking, I'll just show at the bottom before I turn the page. That's what they showed you. So 240 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on, let's say how fresh your flour is. They do tell you this as well, like how to dry and as well cure your cannabis after you harvest it for the season, if you're in a hurry. Okay, Vune has bad reception, but he's uploading a pic, guys, of what he's working on. Oh my gosh, what is that? In the warehouse? Is that for more dice stuff? I actually love it. I don't even know what it is, but I need it. It's a Zelda field. It's Zelda-fied. I thought you said Zelda field. See, you could have said that and I would have been, I need a Zelda field. It's a thing for putting down your wallet, phone, keys, etc. for when you get back home. That is beautiful. Are you going to make more of those? I'm sure people here would commission you to do that for them. I mean, just like you did your dice too, because everything you make is cool. Okay, so sous vide cooking is a fairly recent culinary trend in which food is enclosed in a vacuum sealed bag, then immersed in a hot water bath to cook at a precise, continuous temperature for a specific amount of time. They say this technology is tailor-made for infusing cannabis, which requires precise temperature control to maximize the THC extraction, but control the bitter flavors that can come from over-extracting or the heat getting too high. You'll need an immersion circulator and ideally a vacuum sealer to try this method. Good thing we had both already. With this method, they say there's not really a way to over-extract the material. So you could literally set it and forget it for like a day and be like, whoa, I forgot I had that, and it'll still be okay. So they say to decarboxylate flours, trim, keef, or hash, vacuum seal your cannabis ingredients in a food-safe plastic bag. Set your sous vide cooker to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then obviously immerse your bag in the water, simmer it for 4 to 6 hours, same kind of recommendation. The fresher it is, the longer you'll have to decarboxylate it because of the moisture content. Vune. Also, I like not getting sued by Tendo. I guess that's fair. Frisia. This is called Bong Appetit. If you want the Amazon link to it, I did not put an affiliate link today, but if you do !recipe in chat, you'll find the link to it. It's actually on sale today, I saw. 33% off. I said, hey, whoa, that's a good deal. Barracuda. Sous vide. So yeah, I was saying earlier, like if you do this in the oven, it will stench up your whole house. And especially if you live in a shared space, accommodation like I do, don't do that way. Especially if you already have the sous vide and stuff. It's just a much easier way to do it. Okay, this is one last thing before we get things started. Whether you choose to add this extra toasting step really depends on how high you want to get. If you're looking for a lower dose infusion into your food, you can skip the decarboxylation. But yeah, you'll have like more vegetal flavor. Might be a waste, but if you're just starting out, could be a smart thing to do. If you want to get as high as possible, definitely decarboxylate it and then just go directly into infusing your weed with a chosen fat. Sounds great. So we're going to do this into butter. And then I was saying, like, the only thing I didn't know, I guess, was how much of this to use. So I suppose I should go now to the infusions page. So wheat infused butter. I'm not gonna do brown butter. Is there this other side? Okay, wheat infused butter on the other page. Dun, 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 dun. Yield 3/4 of a cup. Okay, so flour infused butter. If you make 3/4 of a cup of flour infused butter, that will equate to 200 milligrams of THC usable. Whoa. Annie, yeah, but if you live alone, you got options. Barracuda says, I do 10 grams decarbed to 200 milliliters of oil. Okay, so it says you use the same method to infuse butter as well to infuse oil. So there must be
So 1 pound of
amounts
weed
here.
to 1 pound of butter. Or sorry, 1 ounce of weed to 1 pound of butter.
Let's read this first. Gearbox Man, how are you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, you could always use another oil. That's true. Okay, so they say, I'm just going to read from the weed infused oil first because it's the same process for the butter. So just think of it that way. This is the simplest, easiest way to get weed into food and then into yourself. It's a neat and clean method for infusing different oils, let's say just fats, I'll say, simultaneously. It keeps the smells contained for those of you with less chill neighbors. Avocado oil, I'm sure would work. I don't see why not. You can infuse cannabis into any type of oil. There you go. We typically use infused olive oil in salad dressings, marinades, and salsas. Our infused canola oil in a dipping sauce. And our infused coconut oil can go into strawberry cheesecake. And whipped honey? What the heck? That sounds delicious. Infusing raw keef into olive oil won't return the most potent oil, but the oil will be subtle and nicely flavored, making it appropriate for use in recipes where simple flavors would be overwhelmed by a grassy cannabis taste. Fair enough. You can use a number of different oils simultaneously with this method, which keeps each oil in its own canning jar. I like that. Yeah, exactly. It would depend on what you are going to use your fat for. Whipped honey Greek. We'll have to read through that after. So we're not putting it into the jar. We'll be putting it into the bag, right? So they say 1 cup of oil. It looks like we can use less butter for whatever reason. 1/4 cup less butter. And then it's either 3 grams of cannabis flower decarboxylated or 1 entire gram of just your keef. So 3 grams of flour to 1 cup. I think that's pretty close to what Barracuda's measurement was too. Yeah, we wouldn't use motor oil. Can your car get high? There's only one way to find out. Breaking news. So yeah, most of these recipes, they say using keef will probably be the best. We'll see what we get. So all we really need then, I see actually here what they did. It's still 1 cup of unsalted butter to 3 grams of flour. So like I don't have to decarboxylate the entire ounce if I don't want to. But there's nothing telling you not to, because then it's good to go for infusions, right? And then you don't have to wait another 4 to 6 hours. Wouldn't that be nice, hey? Walnut oil? Ooh, I've made some really delicious salad dressings with walnut oil. I bet that would pair really nice with the flavor of cannabis too. Yeah, and hashes differently too, Greek. Okay. Let's now look that we know how to do the butter. Let's find our recipe for brownies. I think it's called a sundae or something. Ice cream brownie sundae, $1.95. That's what it's gonna be. And we need, for the brownies, so we only need 6 tablespoons of infused butter. So that entire cup we're making, yeah, we can make other things with that too. And then if you do have extras, I would just suggest to keep it in the freezer, packed really nice and tight. And that will stay the longest and best for you. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're going to lose some solids from the butter, so you'll even have less volume than you expect, especially after you strain everything through too. Okay, guys. So our first step, because we're not going to get to the butter today, is let's fill our sous vide up with water. You swear you're new to this. I swear, I've never done this before. So let's fill this up and get it set to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I just wanted to show this whole process with the decarboxylation because it's literally the same as infusing the butter. So once this is done in like I'll probably do 5 hours today. I won't go the full 6, but like they said, you don't really have to care. Like if you're not in a time crunch, don't worry about it. Go the full amount of time, right? Because then you'll get the full extraction. So let's say 6 hours from when this goes in today. Then from there, I can open up the bag. Let's make sure we leave our bag big enough that we can just add butter to it. Open up your vacuum seal bag, cut it nice and neatly. Put your butter in with the amount that you want to use with it. So weigh out your 3 grams. And then you seal that back up and you do the process again. So next time we see each other after this, I will have the butter infused and probably will strain it because they say it's best to strain it while everything's warm instead of letting it cool and then try and strain it again. So I will have the strained out butter and I'll make sure when I do that stuff that I'll take photos and put it in Discord for you guys. Let's get that baby filling up. Need to run? Sounds good, Barracuda. Thanks for all of your little tidbits today. Hope you have a good day. This stuff you guys are talking about sounds crazy. And then, has anyone in here ever heard of, like, I think they're called Thai sticks? Those are supposed to be nuts, too. Thai. I think it's like Thai, not Tide. But I could be wrong. Has anyone had too much edibles once upon a time? Have you hit your limit? I definitely did one time. And it's like after that, whoa, dial it back. They are called Thai sticks? Okay, that's what I thought, Greek. I think that's good. Maybe I'll do a bit more water. You threw up. You actually greened out. I was so scared that I was going to, but I didn't. The Stroop waffles in the Netherlands literally saved my life. An entire pack. I think that's the only way I didn't die. Oh no, you did a mixture, Annie. Yeah, you only do that once, right? And then you're like, okay, yep. Okay, we'll get this heating up while we vacuum seal the stuffs. And then the only thing, like it never mentioned to grind up anything for the decarboxylation. So I guess it's really up to you. Like I could, if I wanted to be really picky, let's say, grind all of this and then see how much keef we get to it because they said that's the best thing to use, right? But if you don't want the keef, then I don't really think you have to grind it up. You were young and foolish. Oh yeah, I had a young and foolish one too. Stroop waffles are awesome, Tony. They seriously saved my life. Okay, So we need this set to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Once we get this stuff, oh, what the heck? Okay, this only goes up to like 197.5, it says. It's not letting me go higher. Is that accurate? I feel like we can go higher than that, Samo. Do I have to Google the top temperature of an ANOVA? Is it weed? It is. It is, yeah. We're doing a Cook with Cannabis redemption stream for Vanacore today. It's in Fahrenheit, yeah. Gappa? Thank you for the follow. It is packaged. And then I wanted to do this too. I am using the strain, which I'm just Googling right now for you guys, called Hibiscus Sunrise. It's an indica. It said, which I really like the description of it. This relaxing, clear-headed, indica-dominant hybrid emanates chill vibes made for bright days, offering a mental clarity that enables activity. Hibiscus Sunrise also provides a body high that is dense but not weighted. Pair this strain with a good playlist, indulge in the sights and smells of a world observed from a higher perspective. I thought that was such a good description. I was like, I think that'll make a really nice edible from what they described. Thanks, Bonk. That's what I just read from. Mary, in the couch. Next weekend, yes. Sounds delightful, right? I thought that choosing an indica would be the best rather than choosing something that's a hybrid, because those are really hard to determine the effects from, because all hybrids are kind of different how they grow. So choosing a proper strain, whether it's indica or just straight sativa, maybe my suggestion. A hybrid. I like that one, Annie. Okay, so we got our stuff going in the back. Let me go grab the vacuum sealer. And then we know that we need at least 3 grams of this decarboxylated, but we can definitely do more. The only sativa you know is Sativa Rose. They're only the plant types. It doesn't tell you what the effects are. True, right? Everyone says like, oh, indica is this and sativa is this. But it probably really depends on the strain itself. It's going good, Tony. Thank you for asking. Let's grab this. That won't be good. I was seeing if maybe there was a bag I could reuse. Not really. And then actually, before I plug this in, we need to scale this. The twerkings. Woohoo! Twerk 'em. Oh, Annie, I would like to report, because I just glanced at the donation goal from yesterday. Samo has ordered the vanilla, he told me this morning. So we'll let you know when it comes in. You're not Greek. It's so good. Until someone says stop, please don't. Make sure it's at 0. Now we'll open this up. No one asked, which I'm actually surprised, where we got this from. So I will let you guys know, especially more for the Canadians that watch that may partake, that we get this off of a site called Bloom Supply. Sam, I'm not sure if you want to post your little link in there for them if you want. But we have been very impressed with this over like buying the stuff just straight from the dispensary. I don't know. You guys try it out and let us know, but we've had lots of friends order from it and they're like, holy shit. Bloom Supply, yeah. We're still, okay, so that just went from 0 to 3. I mean, you could always do more, right? You could always do a bit more. Okay, now it's at 5. I'll dial it back just a bit. And then we could also like pick out the stems and stuff. You know the song. Stems, no sticks, no seeds. Okay, that's saying it's at 4 grams. I think that's good. And then if I, can I hold this up? Can you guys see? The lighting's not like the best for it, but all of the little hairs, it might be better if I zoom it in. All of the little like orange hairs that you see on there, that's as zoomed in as I can go. That's your CBD. So I know a lot of people will like go for the CBD over the like all straight THC. So just keep in mind, if you see lots of those hairs, that will be like a nice feeling, like just relaxing your body. The camera makes it big. Okay, so now we got our stuff measured out. It looks like we didn't even make a dent in the bag. Unplug this. How does it smell? It actually wasn't like overly potent smelling compared to some of the other bags that I have opened before. Like really not at all, I would say. It's got a sweet smell. Kind of like tropically, I would say, almost like pineapple-ish. Not too dank at all. So I think that will make a really nice infusion. See if Samo says any other notes on it. Open up the window again. Finally got it warmed up in here.
Definitely get citrus.
Citrusy too.
Yeah. Like orangey almost.
Yeah, not lemon citrus. Yeah, more like sweet orange or something like that. It's your birthday today, Mary. Happy birthday, guys. Everyone wish Mary a happy birthday in chat, please.
Happy birthday! It's my dad's birthday too.
That's right. Yeah, happy birthday to Sam's dad too, to Chuck. Finishing off our October babies. We actually had a lot. So yeah, when Bonk looked this up, the strain, the primary terpenes, the flavor notes, let's say, are herbal, peppery, and citrusy. Yeah, that makes sense. Although this didn't smell super peppery, I would say. Not overly. It's more like a sweet sort of pepper. First, we just gotta make our bag real quick. Orange and chocolate isn't a bad flavor pairing. Right, so then we're gonna think about those flavor notes with chocolate. And you would be surprised. Chocolate pairs very well with tropical flavors like pineapple, passion fruit, things like that. And obviously, chocolate orange is very popular. Just gonna double seal these perforated bags. They usually need a 2-timer so that they stay actually vacuum sealed. I'm just gonna refill my water. Everyone else get a little bevy if you haven't yet. And then once we get this in the water, guys, we're gonna make a little bit of snackies. Sam's gonna make sandwiches, and I'm gonna make a tropical bubble tea with you. And then we'll do a bit more reading on the couch to finish off. I guess if you guys want. Okay, we definitely don't need that big of a bag. But remember I said if you're going to do it sous vide, leave your bag big enough to start so that you can put the butter in there too. So this should be good. You typically will cut off like maybe 1/2 inch or so. Just keep that in mind. That should be lots. Gonna continue grating. Sounds good, Annie. Don't work too hard. Orange stick candy is one of your faves. Okay, so then from here, dump all that in. Get everything out of the bowl. Kind of coax it into one layer. Do they have a washing machine in their house upstairs? This has been happening a lot here, guys, lately. Our washing machines keep getting broken in the apartment. I've seen it on Reddit. A lot of people will just buy, you can buy like a portable washing machine, like how a dishwasher is. I would not want that to go wrong in the apartment though. So I'm okay. No, we can't do the butter yet, Greek. We're decarboxylating. This is decarboxylation first. I wanted to show all the steps because then when it does come to the butter, you just do the same thing I did, right? And then add the butter to the bag after. Okay, so I'm just gonna pulse seal. There's nothing liquid in here. So we just wanna get it as sealed as possible. Press the button. Then I'll double seal the top as well. So we'll be adding 1 cup of butter to this, or I will be adding that. Done. That's how it looks. Sucked out as much air as possible. Now we'll come back over here and just get that dunked in. It's not quite at the temp, but that doesn't mean you can't put it in yet. That's fine. And then just to keep this submerged, sometimes I like fold the top of the bag under the lid so that it keeps it held down in the water, because there's not a lot of weight to that, so it will probably want to float up above the water. So just make sure that it is submerged, otherwise it won't do the full process properly. Samo, we're ready for sandwich time. So we heat it first and then butter, Mary. Do you have a sous vide at home or do you just have your oven? Show you guys what I'm gonna make with you. This is what we're making today. Passion fruit tea with fruity boba pearls. I'm gonna use some orange juice, maybe coconut milk. I haven't really decided yet. And I might make it sparkling, we'll see. You just have oven, so turn your oven to 240 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you bake it for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the moisture content and like how fresh your flour is. So yeah, the process evaporates the carboxyl molecules, but where do they go? Because that's the thing, right, Bonk? Is like when this stuff cooks or things evaporate, like where does it go? Still in the bag? We need science. Annie said he was going to go grade, but maybe we can get him back. Okay, this is going to be a snack speed run, let's say. We'll go a couple different scenes. Cut L, stove S. I'm making boba. Sam's making sandwich. And then we'll reconvene with said snacks and do a little bit more reading together before I send you guys off for another week. So this is our, are they called Portuguese rolls? No. What are they called usually?
Italian buns.
So we just get these from our Italian center market, it's called. I call it more like a European market because they cover all the bases. Those buns are what per piece?
80 cents.
Those buns are 80 cents per piece, but they seriously make the best Italian sandwiches. Let me get this fixed up here. He just slaps the meat on the counter. I'm raising you guys up a bit. You're on the tomato container. Okay, so I gotta wait for that to come up to a boil. But in the meantime, I usually just like separate all these little pearls in the bag. They say you can cook these in the bag, but that's weird to me. So I just boil it in a bit of water for 3 minutes. But I always open them up ahead of time so they're ready to go. We'll take our book out over to the couch. What's happening, Cupie? He was complaining, but not anymore. Don't worry, Bonk. Oh, my crazy prosciutto wrapping. I wrapped it tight. So this sandwich has capicola, prosciutto, and mortadella. Opened up, ready to roll. Do you need a flip on the buns?
Yeah.
Flip the buns in the toaster, just a little light toasting. Oh, that one didn't come up yet. I just rip it out of the toaster. It's not even ready. Ouch. Oopsies. We're good. It's totally fine. Little rogar. That's honestly something you should always keep just like in the fridge, hey? Just roasted garlic. So good to sneak into stuff. The gabagool. Is that a scooter I see? Hi, Scoots. Hope you're having a good Sunday. We're doing a snack speed run right now, and then we'll go back to our reading and learning. So over here, I'm gonna pack our passion fruit tea powder into the bottom of these cups. Hello. What type of meat? We got mortadella, and then it's capicola underneath, and then prosciutto. I got the kettle going so we can make our passion fruit tea, because you got to dissolve its like little crystals. Whew. When the powder goes up your nose and you can like taste it. And then we got the little frother to mix that in. A spoon to stir the boba in the water. And I think other than that, we're ready to roll. Orange passion fruit boba today. I might sneak in a grapefruit soda. They're raising candy prices for the Halloween stuff, you're saying? What the hecky? And then like on November 1st, it's like what? The cheapest ever that you can buy it? We got the Samo, man. Whoa, our water's ready for the boba now too? Okay, the water's just boiling. I'm gonna pour these in, and then we want a 3-minute timer. Timer, 1, 2, 3. Kind of tastes like peachy. I'm gonna reverse us so that we can do the teas together while this is going. Everyone's still keeping up? It already looks good, guys. A little luncheroo. A little Sunday luncheroo. That's all you need. Look at how yummy that looks. And then I usually will put the boba pearls into this tea. Like everything's warm now, right? Put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Did you use all the ice today? Or just one of them? You didn't use any ice in your bottle today? It's left over? But yeah, we'll put this stuff together in the fridge for 30 minutes, and then after that it's cooled. And we can finish the rest of the drink. Meat lovers, we got the trio. You wonder what the 3 meats? I'll just keep repeating them. Mortadella, capicola, and prosciutto. Prosciutto di Parma. AKA mortadelle, gabagool, and the prosciutto. If you were to order it. Who in here has watched Sopranos? They just have the best Italian food references. Okay, it says there's 30 seconds left, but some of these pearls are not see-through yet, so we might need a bit longer for these ones. It's okay. Just we'll be attentive. Finitos, you love Sopranos? Well, yeah, you're the real Tony Montana. Is there cheese on there, or we went straight meatus?
No cheese.
No cheese, he says. Snuck us in like that. Oh, God. Okay, just press the timer. I don't often use the timer on the stovetop. I was kind of scared. I didn't know how to shut it off. Okay, we're not ready yet. Let's go 2 more minutes and see if that will do it. Kinda pog. Honestly, not bad. Steak and mashed potatoes for breakfast, Mary? I'm down. I ain't mad. Oh, nice! My shredded cheese that I brought over to my friend's house. We made nachos yesterday. He just piled it on. Okay, now they're looking better. I'm gonna turn that off, turn this off. Just gonna go strain this in the sink with a spoon, pour all the water out, and then we'll come back and pour the pearls into the cups in our passion fruit tea. You had lasagna not once, but twice today? Yes, please. I think we'll actually come back over here, pour the pearls together so you can see. We're just coming right in the middle. Big ol'. We'll move the cheese so I don't pour the pearls in, but this is how they look once they're cooked. There's like pink and yellow ones. Just divide that between the cups. Oh no! One snuck out. Give that a stir in. And then, like I said, we'll put those in the fridge. I usually put a cloth underneath just so that it doesn't shatter the glass shelf in the fridge by accident. And then we'll finish those after with some orange juice and grapefruit soda, I was thinking. Mortadella and Kewpie? We did it, Walter. We did it. Timer. 30 minutes. Counting down. Whoa! We got options. We got cheese. We got no cheese. Choose what you please. Hello. Praise be to Jesus. Cheers, everyone. Look at my grip on this. A bit dry.
Put more mayo in.
Did you see me trying to swallow, guys? It's like when you see a bird swallow food and you can like see it go down their throat. A bit dry. It's so quiet. What do you mean, Scoots? Like the music? Did I turn it down too much?
No,
I am. Try pistachio cream. Where? Where do we put the pistachio cream? Not in the sandwich. Leftovers from yesterday. We actually didn't get into any soup yet. I'm really looking forward to it later though. We got some Formula One to watch. Catch up on the race. Okay, I feel you on that though, because I have had mortadella with pistachio. I've also made pizza specials with that. So I feel you. I was thinking like the sweet version of pistachio cream that I have in the fridge. Canadian football. The CFL. Okay, that bite with the extra mayo, way better. Is the spice gonna get hotter a day later? The hot sauce that he put in, Mary, is that what you're asking? I have seen that, Boris. The viral Dubai chocolate bar. There's some people here in the city that are selling it on like Facebook Marketplace. It did not look as good though for the price. I was like, I think I'm okay. There's a viral chocolate bar from Dubai that's like filled with pistachio cream and how do you say it, guys? Knafe? Knafe? Like the phyllo kind of sticks and some other things, and it looks really good. Oh, the spice, yeah, in the soup. Mary, now I'm worried. I forget what the bar was. It was like $20 or something. Canapé. Okay, Nate from Kara and Nate. If anyone here watches their channel, they would know that reference. This one time, because they go out to like a lot of fancy places and lounges for flying, and they had canapes at one of them, or like at one of the Christmas markets or something, and he comes up to the camera. We have canapes? And now we never let him live it down. $20 Canadian, yeah. I always forget this, Sir Grange. You got a home in Lake Como, so you just make it yourself. I'm gonna get on the flight. See you soon.
So how much weed did you have box today? 3 grams? 4 grams?
For 1 cup of butter. But the recipe only uses 6 tablespoons of butter. You're gonna retire there. What a life. Okay, that's good, guys. I think I'll just put that on a little plate, and then we'll make our way over to our little cozy reading nook over to the kitchen. Right, yeah, Walter, you were just there. I've been to Rome, I've been to Lazio and like a bunch of other places, but I never got to Lake Como. Okay, hold tight on this scene. I'm just getting the GoPro over to the other area. We are using both, I think. I guess I could just, I have to use both with how the scene is. I have to use both.
Just have it pointed on the sous vide.
Oh, I guess we could do that. Sounds good to me. The hot tub's really going back there. The steam is cranking. That works, I guess. Milan is far worse. Oh no. I thought Napoli is like one of the worst. We are in it to win it. It's kind of uneven. How's that? Hot tub stream commenced. Oh, price-wise. I see what you guys are talking about there. Okay, how does this look? And then I guess the only other thing, Sam, are you going to put up so I can see the chat?
You got my phone?
Okay, that works. New stream category. Do I got to switch it to just chatting now?
There you go.
Thanks. Other than enjoying the foods and the drinks, we are now switching to chatting. We are now updated. Okay, see you guys in a moment. You like the plant? So that is the Lego Birds of Paradise plant. Lego Birds of Paradise. And we love it. It's discontinued now? Dang. Okay, this is where I'm sitting. Would make for a lovely gift. I don't know if you can buy it anymore. I got crumblies all over from the sandwich. Holy smokes. I bet this looks so good here now on this scene. Okay. I didn't show the back, I don't think. Racetrack out there. What was that? It was just a Mustang. $30. Yeah, I think it's actually on sale right now online. Okay. So we read through some of these marked pages earlier from last time that I did this on stream, but this was many years ago. Let's look in the index, some other stuff that we want to learn about. Like, I haven't read the introduction yet, and I think that might be nice. Oh, the plant. $30 only for the Birds of Paradise too? That's not bad either. Probably euros. 30 euro. Maybe? I don't know. That's what they found. Okay, introduction. People have been eating weed for thousands of years. Brewed for tea, crumbled into coffee as a tincture, mixed with fruits and spice and jam. But in the last decade or so, it has started to feel very different. Sweden is kind of harsh. It's like every country is different, right? I mean, even within our country, every province also has their own set of laws to follow regarding the legality of cannabis. I don't know much about the states at all, but that's what I know about Canada. Some provinces in Canada are a lot more strict than others. Okay, so building on the accumulated wisdom of traditional recipes, such as Middle Eastern Majun and Indian Bang, I don't know what those are. Cannabis cuisine has gone far beyond brownies and has reclaimed its place as a serious culinary ingredient. I just saw, I get sometimes ads on Instagram. I think he's maybe called the Nomad Chef or something, but there's a person that goes between usually Alberta and BC provinces and does like cannabis infused restaurant pop-ups that you can buy tickets for. I've never gone, but I feel like that might be fun to see how somebody else does it as well. Really, Greek. In Richmond, it is virtually illegal because you can't have dispensaries and you can't smoke it in public there. Guys, is this lagging a little bit, the cam? Or is it not too bad? Okay. No leg. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to ask.
I'm just telling you not to look at the
Hi, Cradle. Welcome back, friend. It's good to see you today. Okay, Greek says bang is like hash. Okay. It's the Indian version of hash. So that's what those words were. Majun and bang. Okay, just in time to speak up as an American. Thank you. The states have their own laws. It's a give and take between the state and federal laws. So same with here then. It is illegal to transport it across state lines, even if it's like legal one place and you're like traveling through a state where it's not legal to get to another state that is. You could get in trouble if you are found possessing it in the one where it's not. So interesting. Okay, so they say we're now living in a new era of marijuana cuisine, one of space-age vaporizers, designer hash, and cutting-edge science, all of which have helped take weed food to a whole other realm. You thought it was Bong Appetit, or Bon Appetit, I should say, rather, but it's actually Bong Appetit. Walter. So they say, in these pages, we're experimenting with weed, but not like the teenage stoners hitting a homemade gravity bong. Instead, we have enlisted some incredible chefs to make weed food that eclipses those early brownies. The kind of fare that you'd want to sit down and eat even if there wasn't weed in it. I think I really like that line. Like the food is good even without it, right? Through a mashup of modern cooking techniques and hard-won weed wisdom, television series Bong Appetit, you guys can watch this on YouTube. Very good series if you've never. What's the other one that 2 Chainz was on? No, it wasn't Most Expensivest. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
And he did an edible one that was absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. Greek, you've seen that one? It'll make you like cry laughing. Okay, so search that up. We're going to highlight next level ingredients and techniques that are revolutionizing the way we use cannabis as a culinary ingredient. Leafy green, spice, dried herb, refined, isolated chemical, and as something that also gets you high. There's also one with the cigar blunts. Oh, I don't know if I've seen that one. Envied for its extensive pantry filled with fine flowers, rare hashes, infused oils, and weed-infused spices, Bong Appetit redefines luxury in many respects. We realize that many readers, even those who live in states such as California and Colorado, where recreational cannabis is legal, they won't have access to these products. So we've translated many ideas from the series into something that works for the home cook. Do you have access to terpenes, cannabinoids, distillates, tinctures, and any strain of bud you desire, and are looking for new techniques that will put them on your home table or turn them into professional level edibles? These recipes will give you plenty to work with. Do you have to text someone shady as hell to get hooked up, so you basically have to work with whatever you can get? There are recipes here for you too. What? Right, yeah, the 24 karat gold leaf. It's all for looks. Doesn't taste like nothing Greek. Just looks good. Okay, they say we're making it easy to know just how high you'll get from a plate of fried chicken wings or a bowl of pappardelle bolognese. Both recipes from this book. We lab tested all of our recipes to make sure you wouldn't have to worry about A, wasting a bunch of weed making food that doesn't get you high, or B, making food that gets you so high you have to call in sick for work the next day. We've also asked Bon Appetit host Vanessa Lavorato, which she has her own, I would say, business now. If you go onto her Instagram page, Vanessa Lavorato, I have followed her for many years. I think she even has like a membership online. So every week she'll cook a new recipe that's infused. Pretty sure that's what the membership is. And like obviously you pay for the recipe so you can use it at home. But I thought that was pretty cool that she's still doing what she likes to do. Okay, it says, and sure, there's some crazy shit in here, like poaching a whole octopus in weed olive oil. What? Weed infused olive oil and then you poach an octopus in it? Or force infusing THC into alcohol with a whipped cream charger. We're also keeping it simple enough for the beginner cook to play along, with cannabis getting into most of the recipes via easy-to-make infusions of butter or oil. Right? Cannabis-infused chicken wings with the sauce. What's the tub of water you're watching? So we are sous videing our cannabis. It is hibiscus sunrise indica. And it is at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's gonna go for 5 hours. There's a timer on that machine. And that's the decarboxylation process. And then after that, we just open the bag back up, put your 1 cup of butter in because we pre-measured out the amount of flour we needed. And you're good to go. Put it back in the water for the same amount of time and you have your infusion done. That's just a much safer way to do it with the absolutely zero smell in the house. Whoa, you could even make cannabis leaf kimchi. Or they have a recipe for infused pepperoni. I'm dead. Infused pepperoni pizza. Some of what you may have seen on the show flies in the face of the conventional wisdom that prioritizes budget over flavor when cooking with weed. We freely admit that burning 3 ounces of high quality pot in a smoker or dumping a handful of herb into a fryer was more about experimentation than just getting high. You won't find recipes for that kind of thing here. That said, if you feel like bawling out, we're not here to stop you. This book is all about giving you the tools and savvy you need to master the art of cooking with cannabis, no matter what that looks like for you. If you live in a place without legal weed, please know we're sorry and that you are not alone. And yes, it's incredibly fucked up that there are millions of people in prison for enjoying the kind of recreational activity you're about to read an entire book on, honestly. And we're hoping that changes soon too. In any case, rest assured that the recipes in this book can be followed without including any cannabis at all. Love that. They're still excellent, they're just not quite as fun. I love it. Make yours a 2-meter long infused pepperoni. Oh God. So decarboxylation is a word you never heard or read before? Like Greek said. So when you just have like this is the flour that we use today. I mean, you could put this straight into the butter and you might get like a little bit of the THC, like psychoactive effects. But currently, like this just has THCA, which is the acidic compound. So to change it to the just THC, you have to decarboxylate it. So you can do it in the oven or you can do it like how we do it. But this will give you more of that like edible feeling that you want. Heat instigated chemical reactions, exactly. Okay, this just talks about different equipment that you may need as you go through the book. And this is where we're at, the pot pantry. So this talks about all of your different types, or let's say all of your different parts of the plant and the things you can get from it, which I think we'll read through this today and then we'll probably stop there and save the rest for next time when we actually bake. Yeah, so whenever we burn or vape or however you decide to consume your cannabis that way, just that heat from lighting it is enough to do what we're doing now, but for food instead. And yeah, I guess that's another really good point, Greek, is like to note that some people may not actually get any effects from an edible because they don't have the enzyme to digest it properly, which would be so sad, right? Okay. So flower, the form of dried cannabis that's typically ground and rolled into a joint. This is what it is. It's literally the flowers of the cannabis plant. The plant itself is unique because it produces both male and female flowers, with the former pollinating the latter. However, only the female cannabis flowers produce significant amounts of the high-inducing cannabinoid THC. So you're mostly like smoking and consuming the female part of the plant for the flowers, guys, is what they're saying. And they will separate the females from the male plants early in the cultivation process to allow them to mature to the full splendor without going to seed. So then the males are used more just for the seeds then, I would say. So they will let that flower actually open up, flower, obviously, and then go into the seed bud, and then from there you can grow from it. Is that right, guys? Right? Like, how did they know all that back then, hey? It's pretty crazy, bonk. Really, so Crawdalt says, on the other hand, you have me. Doesn't get much psychoactive effects from smoking, but if you have an edible, puts you on your ass. See how different we all are? Okay. Do we want to look at this little diagram? So what we're talking about, the very top part of the plant is your flower and what is typically harvested and used to smoke with because it's the cleanest. Remember, anything vegetal, so the farther down you go the plant, kind of, let's just say, the less quality it will be. Then you go from the flower at the top. The trim is always going to be your leaves kind of around the flower, which, yeah, a lot of people consider this to be usable, right? Because you get all of your little like crystals that fall off of the flour will like fall onto your trim, and then you can dry that and still grind it and get a little bit of kief from it. So depending on the variety and its growing conditions, flour, sometimes called bud, nugget, can vary widely in potency. So depending on the growing conditions is dependent on the potency. From 10 all the way up to 30% THC content. The leaves and sticks are used more for medicinal purposes. And then, yeah, here, so if we look at the flower, like Bonk is saying, the trichomes and stuff, that's all that. The biggest bud on top of a plant is called the cola, and it receives the most energy from light. That means it grows larger and generally has a higher quantity of the desirable resin than do the smaller buds on the lower branches. Typically, those best buds are then dried, cured, and reserved for smoking, while the smaller, less potent, so we have more like popcorn nugs in there. And that is the thing when you order from that site. Sometimes you'll get like big, basically what they call the cola. Other bags will just be popcorn nugs. So maybe I am happy that I did 4 grams weighed out to decarboxylate than just the 3 grams, right? Because that's going to be a little bit less potent. Hi, Rockout guy. We're doing some learning today. We are doing some learning. We did a bit of cooking. Like I have a sandwich that I can still snack on here. And I'm waiting for my boba tea to cool off in the fridge. But otherwise, we are preparing some cannabis to cook with next weekend. Hi, LoJack. Good to see you. And thank you very much for the 10 months in a row, friend, with your Prime Gaming sub. I hope you're having a nice Sunday. Thanks for being part of the crew. And yeah, those are our buds decarboxylating in the sous vide. You guys can see there on the side. Because it does take 4 to 6 hours. Don't worry, the stream won't be 4 to 6 hours. Wait. Okay, so I'm going to reread this. Typically, the best buds are dried, cured, and reserved for smoking, while the smaller, less potent popcorn nugs that appear toward the often shaded bottom, right? Because your leaves will sprawl out and it will shade those buds so they don't get as much sunlight, right? They don't get to develop as much. So the shaded buds are more relegated to culinary use or to extraction. So it's actually good that we chose that to use for the extraction rather than just smoking. So we did make the right choice. It says, why are cannabis extracts better culinary ingredients than just flour? Well, all green parts of the cannabis plant contain chlorophyll, responsible for the grassy taste that most people associate with cannabis-infused food. Refining flours into hash or extracts before using it in food will remove most, if not all, of the chlorophyll and make a tastier, more refined final product. Greek with all the pro tips. That's our timer for the boba. You gotta come over and finish it real quick. Does it keep beeping? That was such a chill little timer. What the heck? What the heck? Okay, I turned the lights back on. So we're gonna come over. I'm just clearing off the board. One sec. We'll get these teas out. Who dat? Who dat? It's Cheeseology. Guys, I was so worried. Well, no, I wasn't like so worried. But let's just say last time we did a Cook with Cannabis stream, it did not go well. It did not go well. People were very angry with me. So it's nice to see you guys all like being happy about this. Welcome. Just clearing off the board. There was a bit of cheese and crummies. Hi, Devin. I owe you. Well, actually, the thing is, being the streamer, I get to choose when I complete the redemptions. But I will come and raid you today if you are streaming. Hi, CJ Dewey. Oh no, my sandwich is peeking out. Don't look. But don't think that I forgot about you. Hemp is more sustainable to make paper than typical lumber trees. Then what are we doing? Why are we not all using hemp paper? Okay, so this is passion fruit tea with tropical boba pearls. We're gonna do first in there ice. To cool it, and then we're gonna top it with some orange juice and a grapefruit soda. How hard is it to make weed butter and stuff? It's really not. Yeah, it's really not at all. They can see me. You just have to do it and not be scared. But like I said, this book, having it to rely on makes me not as scared. Ah. Bong Appetit. I will do one more. Let's do 4 ice cubes per cup. It's like almost at the top. They also use it to make rope for the Navy. Well, that's smart. Drugs are bad for you. It's true. Say no to drugs, everyone. I took the DARE program. Do I need one more? Hi, Weasel. It is scary, LoJack. Like, don't make the mistake that I did the one time. Although, it is a funny story to tell people. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Hello? I have returned. I think it's this. It was like, pop. I don't know what else to say on that one. There was a weird sound when I was in the bathroom that went pop. And I'm just like yelling from the bathroom, what the heck was that? I still remember that DARE assembly bonk. Getting the shirt to bring home. Okay, so now we're topping passion fruit tea with orange juice. Whoa. Don't put it in yet. That's what she said.
That's cool.
This is the craziest concoction I've ever made at home. Okay. Ready? Cheers, guys. Gotta stir it. That's like an $8 boba I just made. It is. It's a tropical version. It's a little kit from Costco. It was part of our snackies. It's not poppy, it's just a bubbly. A grapefruit bubbly to go with the citrusy flavors. Oh, yeah. Mmm. The drink is loaded with THC. I wish. That would be so good. I would buy this all the time. This is delicious, guys. I've never done a sparkling boba, but maybe I gotta opening a sparkling boba shop. Put the orange juice back. Okay, that was our last kitchen thing, and we'll go back, finish reading. We're almost done, guys. Get a tincture, right? Couple little drizzops. Good to go. That's the one, yep. This is yummo. Like, look at him. He's so happy. The best Samo. It tastes like a mimosa. You bought cola and orange cream by Poppy. The cola is pretty good. 5 grams of sugar, not too bad. I've been eyeing it up, but it's so expensive. Did I not come over enough? There. Okay. Where did we stop? About the cannabis extracts. So flower can be used in cooking when it is freshly harvested, especially for juicing. Imagine what? Juicing it? That's crazy. But it's generally utilized after it's been dried and cured for smoking. Which, like, other than the obviously growing the plant and then harvesting it, the drying and curing process is very, very important. And like, if you don't do it right, you're like, all your stuff can mold. Like, there's lots of things that can go wrong. So you really want to be sure of what you're doing when it comes to that final result if you grow your own plant. We have done this before, what, like 4 years ago now, 5 years ago now. I had a friend give us 2 plants to try growing, and he kind of guided us along. But then when it came time to harvest, we just gave him the plants back because he had all this stuff that you needed to do that, as well as like the drying contraption, let's call it. And then after it was all cured, I think it took like what, about a month or so to dry and cure everything he harvested. Then he just like brought us back the jar of everything done, which that was really fun to do. And like, we babied those plants, like we brought them in and outside too. I thought it was pretty fun to try, if you can do that where you are. I don't know if I'll do it again, but maybe. Okay, so back for like Crawdle when they were coming in. So cannabis flower won't get you high on its own, as it needs to be decarboxylated, so exposed to heat is what that word means, for the THCA present in the flower to convert into the THC. Once activated, the decarboxylated cannabis can then be infused into fats, sugars, or alcohol. Ooh, an infused sugar. Although technically it can be eaten on its own and still have an effect, What? I've never thought of doing that. So you could just like rip open that bag when it's done in there and just like munch down and you're good to go. I can't imagine that being a very enjoyable experience.
Go ahead and try it. Try it.
That is so good. So they say on the show on YouTube, they will frequently crisp up the broken flowers in fat and then use the cooked bud to garnish other dishes, like something like crispy on top. Okay, next one, the trim. So we are just reading up at the top, the flower. Next up is the trim, the leaves that fall below. Also known as sugar leaf, trim is the industry term for the small leaves near the buds that are trimmed away when flowers are manicured for sale after harvest. Traditionally used for making cost-effective edibles, the trim contains significant amounts of THC. Right, for what you pay. I just like wouldn't go chew on a bud. It will not taste good. Oof. Oof, oof. So considered too harsh for smoking and too fibrous just to eat, the trim leaves can be used to make hash or infused directly into fats for cooking. High quality trim can test up to 15% THC, and then the lower quality samples between 2 and 5%, making it a lower potency product than flower. Hi, Lauren. Lauren sends love. We need more boba. I got you. I barely, I feel like I'm drinking a lot and it doesn't even look like it. Boba break. Oh, yeah. Who knows that reference? If you're Canadian, you might. Because I don't know if body break was in the States. Okay. Like the flower, the trim can be used fresh or raw, or after being dried and cured. It also must be decarboxylated before its THC content is fully available. Trim will deliver more chlorophyll because the plant matter has been snipped apart, often creating a grassier taste when infused compared to flower. Boba break. Fan leaves. So those are the ones like when you think of the weed plant, it's those. Those are your fan leaves where it's like, whoa, yeah, that's definitely the weed symbol, right? And then if we go back to where I was reading, you can see they like basically tempura or deep fried them for a dish. So the large iconic cannabis leaves gather solar energy for the plant growth, which means they contain copious amounts of chlorophyll and only trace amounts of your THCA. Chlorophyll, more like borophyll. That's from Waterboy. Oh man, all of those movies are so good. Reformed Druid says, back in the day when I was willing to risk my freedom to partake, I always looked at it like choosing a fine wine. Buy the best one that you can afford, right? Like, it should be a nice treat. It shouldn't be like, I don't know, I guess we all have different ways to consume things, right? But I think the better that you choose, you're always just gonna feel better as well. Okay, our fan leaves. So these are also fibrous and tough. They can be hard to digest when fully grown. If you're looking to eat them raw in a pesto or salad, choose the young tender leaves from a plant in the early stage of growth. The flavor will land somewhere between kale and shiso, which is like what, like a Japanese kind of like herbaceous leaf, with slight variations in flavor based on the strain. Unfortunately, you can't usually just buy a bag of baby pot leaves at Whole Foods yet, it says. So you need to grow them yourself or source them directly from a farmer. Imagine Whole Foods. Oh my gosh. Going to buy my, I mean, people also call these like hemp leaves, right? The fan leaves. Although they're not recommended for edibles, the fan leaves can be used for the cannabis leaf chips on page 220. So that's what I showed you guys. Or the kimchi on page 234. Fan leaves can also be juiced for a rich source of acidic cannabinoids that won't get you high. The acidic precursor to THC is known as THCA, and it provides a variety of medicinal benefits, such as anti-inflammatory and anti-emetic properties without the psychoactive effects. What's anti-emetic? E-M-E-T-I-C. But that's pretty cool. So if you juice the leaves, that's like an anti-inflammatory sort of like tincture thing, let's say. Interesting. But the most common use for the fan leaves is usually as a garnish or part of the table decoration, as they really help your dinner party say, this food has weed in it. Non-puking, okay, anti-emetic, so like anti-nausea. Crazy. So yeah, that's very cool. The more you know, guys. Thanks for looking that up too. The leaves are also highly perishable. So like any other fresh herb or cut flower, they begin to wither and dry out quickly if not kept in a properly humid environment. How fun. It settles your tum-tum. Okay, next up, the important ones. Trichomes, like Bonk was saying. So we looked earlier, that's part of the flower. This little photo here. While you won't see a container labeled trichomes in the Bong Appetit pantry, these tiny resin glands are scattered throughout the cannabis plant, particularly on its buds where the majority of the plant's THC can be found. To the naked eye, the glands look like glittery crystals and are responsible for the frosty appearance of top-shelf flower. When magnified, they look like sphere-topped stalks, crystal mushrooms from another planet. Yeah, if you ever want to see something really cool, Google like zoomed in trichome. Looks insane. You're like, wow, that's like an alien. Sounds good, Crawdle. We're almost done here anyway, so I hope you have a good Sunday, and we'll be back next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Nice, Michael. So the resin-filled spheres are the most desirable part of the cannabis plant and are responsible for the vast majority of its effects, as well as the aroma and flavor, thanks to the rich essential oils packed into there. They're harvested and concentrated into hash and various types of extracts using a variety of techniques that involve solvents such as CO2 or butane or ice water. Considered a raw cannabis ingredient, trichomes that have been separated from the plant matter and collected en masse are referred to as keef. All the stuff that builds up at the bottom level of your grinder, let's say. And that must also be decarboxylated in order to fully develop the psychoactive THC content. The two traditional forms of hash, compressed bricks, and balls are made entirely of keef. I actually didn't know that. Holy shit. Yeah, weed kimchi, right? Okay, next one. Ended with keef, and now we're going to read about it. So keef, a sand-like light brown powder. Keef is one of the most traditional methods of concentrating cannabis, with origins stretching back thousands of years to the vast cannabis fields of India, Morocco, and Pakistan. Keef is simply a collection of trichomes that have been separated from the cannabis plant by dry sifting, shaking buds or trim so that the trichome glands fall through fine fabric or metal screens. You can collect keef at home, but it's easier to buy at a dispensary, as accumulating enough of it to use for cooking would take quite a long time and a lot of product. Every time you grind a flower, keef is separated from the plant matter and either sticks to the inside of the grinder or appears on a fine powder on the rolling tray. Many herb grinder models include the keef catchers, like I said, the bottom part. A chamber that's separated from the compartment by an ultra-fine screen. But even then, like, the screen can get kind of bunged up, so make sure you, like, take care of all your stuff. Keef is one of the most versatile ways to use cannabis as an ingredient, as it can be stirred into or sprinkled onto dishes like most spices are. But at $15 a gram, it is currently more expensive than saffron. That's a cool fact. Once cannabis is cultivated on a much larger scale, prices will likely fall and your terpene-rich keef will become much more widely available. This is interesting. They literally tell you how to make hash with water. That's why I said this book is so good. Like, things that I probably will never do, but I still find it interesting. Hash is a catch-all term for concentrated and isolated trichomes prepared in a traditional fashion, either by dry sifting and then using a combination of heat and pressure, or by a water-based extraction method. It can appear as a granulated powder that looks like brown sugar, as pressed chunks of trichomes stuck together, or as a smooth, polished, potent temple ball. The age-old Nepalese form still created today by artisans, such as Frenchy cannoli. There's water hash too. Yeah, this is so cool. So while hash can be made using a variety of methods, the most common modern technique for physically separating the trichomes from the plant matter is known as water or ice hash. When cannabis flowers and or trim are agitated together with ice water, the trichomes will grow brittle and break off from the plant. Though water hash is commonly made using dried plant material, artisans have also started using fresh frozen plants, which many people believe to provide a much stronger aroma and flavor due to the higher concentration of terpenes. So fresh frozen plants instead of dried. Interesting. Next, the loose trichomes are separated from the water by passing it through a set of increasingly fine mesh microscreen bags. The resulting mass is then collected, dried, and cured, at which point it is ready for smoking or cooking. Some hash makers grate these chunks on a microplane grater to increase the surface area, speed drying, and to prevent mold from forming on the interior. Cool. So much work. It sounds like it, dude. And it still says hash will usually need to be decarboxylated before cooking to fully activate its THC content. Cool. Okay, so now we're getting more into like concentrates and extracts. So like if you've ever done a vape pen, dabs, stuff like that. So highly concentrated cannabis extracts. I need a little break here. That's delicious. Yeah, resins, rosins, oils, which I actually quite enjoy, I will say, when I'm feeling like it. Okay, so the highly concentrated extracts are made by using either hydrocarbon solvents or CO2 to strip all the stuff that doesn't get you high from all the stuff that does. What remains is a resinous extract of ultra-pure cannabinoids, terpenoids, and flavonoids, which come in a bunch of different textures based on post-extraction processes. So it depends on what they do after they extract it. These extracts are primarily consumed via dabbing, which means scooping up a small amount. So it's like very sticky, guys. Think of like the stickiest like syrup honey that you could think of, I guess. And like literally the smallest amount, like the spoon that they will often give you to use these things is like, the spoon is the size of a pinhead, basically. Very, very small amount. And there's a reason for it. And then you drop that onto the heated surface, attached to a water pipe known as the dab rig. Extracts can also be consumed in vaporizers, with the portable cartridge pen style units being the most popular. So like your 510 carts, stuff like that. I will say those can get pretty cheap as far as quality goes. And I have found that, yeah, some of them don't make me feel very good, as like in my lungs and stuff, compared to just smoking like flower. So maybe just don't cheap out too much on those, I would say. Yeah, you could also like put a little dab into like whatever you're smoking as well. Just a little extra something if you want. Good one, guys. So they say cooking with these extracts is a rare treat. It allows you to dose your food and control cannabis flavors incredibly precisely. Extracts are expensive, sometimes ranging from $60 to more than $100 per gram. And precious, so you probably won't be cooking with them all that often. Excuse me. Okay, so I've never done BHO, the butter or wax, or a distillate or an isolate, but I have seen like live resin they talk about. So this is terpene rich extract from freshly harvested plants that are quickly frozen in a cryogenic freezer. That's how you get resin. By capturing the plant at its aromatic peak, the extractor is able to create a concentrate with higher percentages of terpenes than a product made from just dried plant material. How fun. Holy shit. Your ex used to put dab resin on her blunt wrap with the ground weed. That's, I guess, the other thing you can talk about is I feel like the more that you consume cannabis, obviously, like, your intolerance becomes so low for it, and then you just need more and more. Whereas, like, if you consume it much less, you will find the effects to be much more positive long term. At least that's my opinion. So rosin, we just learned about resin. Rosin is created from flowers or hash that are extruded into a concentrating using just pressure and heat. What the heck? At-home hash makers will utilize hair straighteners for small batch production. What? I'm just imagining them like putting the buds and stuff into the hair straightener. Excuse me, what? Don't even think about it. That sounds scary, Greek. Okay, I'm still trying to read through. It's based on an ancient African extraction involving conical baskets and heat from the sun. Cool. So there's probably like in the cone, you put the stuff, and then maybe there's like a weight on top, and then as the sun heats it up, it gets pressed down and then filtered out. But you got to think the heat from the sun, that's got to be such a slow process. Like, holy. The texture of rosin can be clear like shatter, but tends to become opaque quickly and will end up with more of like a wax or sugary consistency. Okay, lastly, terpenes is what I'll read, and then we'll finish there for the day, guys. Naturally occurring chemical components found in cannabis and many other plants. Terpenes, oh, that's interesting. Many other plants this stuff's found in. Terpenes are what make weed smell and taste the way it does. They can be citrusy, skunky, piney, or just straight up dank, like some of you said earlier. Terpenes from cannabis strains can be isolated and bottled, capturing the plant's essence for adding to drinks or dishes to imbue them with a distinct cannabis flavor, but no high effects. Mango, pineapple, grapes. They got that dank. If you know, you know. Used in cooking, just like essential oils derived from plants such as mint or basil, these terpene compounds deliver sensorial delights without any of the usual psychoactive effects of cannabis. It's worth mentioning with terpenes that a little goes a long way. One drop of terpenes can at times be enough to flavor an entire dish, depending on the strain's flavor profile and pungence. I've never seen these just sold, although I've not looked for it either. It says terpenes can be purchased online, but cannabis-derived terpenes are expensive and exist in a somewhat gray legal area. You can easily find terpenes derived from other sources, such as pine trees and lemon, but these are not necessarily recommended for smoking or even adding to food. They're primarily created for aromatic applications such as aromatherapy atomizers. Make sure to read the labels for any terpenes to determine the types of use for what the specific product was created. They're sciencing it. I know, like, to be a very good bud tender, if you're somebody that works at a dispensary, you should, like, know a lot of the terpene profiles of the strains, right? Because that's your flavor. I mean, everyone buys their stuff for what they want it for. Some people want higher THC. Some people want better flavor, right? So definitely ask all the questions if you don't really know what you want, and they'll help guide you. Okay, the next one in the book I'll just show you is like they actually tell you how to go shopping for weed. So that basically goes off of what I was just saying. So they talk about sativa versus indica and stuff like that, but I think we'll save that to read next time. We'll stop there. That was good, guys. We made it to page 25. It was a good stream. We got the stuff in the hot tub going. And then I'll get the next process done so that next weekend we can make our brownies and then make a sundae from it and finish it on up. I know somebody else said that they almost have 420,000 saved up. The book is awesome, hey? If you go !recipe in chat today, I put a link to it. I saw it was on sale in Canada. Don't know about anywhere else in the world. But I'm glad I bought it once upon a time. It's nice to always look back to. And yeah, there's like some crazy recipes in here. Pork wontons infused. And you even make like an infused dipping sauce. And then if you want to watch more like videos, let's say, now that if you're inspired from the book, just go into YouTube, search Bong Appetit. You'll be well on your way. I'm going to go over here just to finish up, guys. Maybe we'll go raid somebody. But thanks everyone for hanging out with us today. I hope you had fun. Dun, 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 dun. Each terpene has its own chemical makeup, so they're also working on artificially manufacturing them, like the cannabis ones you're saying. That's cool. Let's go back to Twitch. Excuse me, I got a little bit from the boba. Brisket Baconators at the More Than Pasta food truck. Whoa, that sounds good. What else do we got? Wait. Is Devin on? We'll do that raid today. Get it crossed off the list. They are on. Okay, we're gonna raid them. I don't even know what they stream. Devin the Taco Eater. We gotta get the channel point redemption cleared off. Kanara's on as well. We did raid her, what, yesterday? Pretty sure? Kanara raid? Last week? No, I thought that was yesterday. We can't go again. She already felt all of our love. Okay, guys. Thanks for the fun weekend. That was awesome. I know we didn't do too much cooking today, but if you missed the last 2 days, go back and watch those. I'll get that set up, the raid. One of our community members asked us to raid after we're done stream, so we're going to do that for them today. Otherwise, stay tuned in Discord for the next schedule coming up. Don't work too hard, guys, and I will be back on Twitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. And enjoy Halloween. Since I don't usually stream, it's on a Thursday, right?
Oh.
But maybe we'll stream on Thursday.
Grocery shopping.
We might stream games on Thursday for Halloween. I'll keep you guys updated. Okay? Thanks so much for everything today. Our resubs, love y'all. And if you just found us today, welcome on in. I'm gonna hit this button. Let's go see Devin and make his entire day. Love y'all. Be safe out there. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.